This could be us. So back to what I was saying.
Hey guys, Janice Pelicano here. So this morning, I'm going to discuss and identify the muscles or group of muscles that works, who serve as an agonist and antagonist during the movement by giving you an example of a lever. Before I start the discussion, let me tell you first that there are three types of lever, which is the first class lever, second class lever, and the third class lever. So in the first class lever, the effort or force moves over a large distance to move the load a smaller distance, and the fulcrum is between the effort and the load. In the second class lever, the load is located between the effort and the fulcrum. Lastly, the third class lever, the effort is located between the load and the fulcrum. Muscles are attached to bones by tendons. Tendons are the cords and straps that connects muscles to bones. At the bones, the fibers of tendons are embedded in the periosteum of the bone. This anchors the tendon strongly and spreads the force of the contraction so the tendon won't tear away easily. Muscles contract to move your bones by pulling on them. However, muscle can only be pulled, they cannot be pushed. This is why they usually work a joint in pairs. One muscle contracts to move the body part. The other muscle in the pair contracts to return the body part back to its original position. The muscles that work like this are called the antagonistic pairs. In an antagonistic muscle pair, one muscle pair contracts, the other muscle relaxes or lengthens. The muscle that is contracting is called the agonist, and the muscle that is relaxing or lengthening is called the antagonist. To allow antagonistic pair to work effectively, other muscles called fixator assess by inspecting and stabilizing the point and the rest of the body in place where the movement occurs. Fixator are also sometimes called stabilizers. So I have here an example of lever. So I choose the third class lever, which is arm bend. In this part, it is called the agonist. The muscles cause movement to occur. It creates the normal range of movement in a joint by contracting. It is also referred to as prime movers, since they are the muscles that are primarily responsible for generating the movement. Contracting your biceps exhibits flexion. It brings your forearm closer to your upper arm and decreasing the angle between the two. So your biceps is described as the flexor muscle. Flexion is a bending movement where the angle between two parts decreases. The prime mover agonist is helped by other muscle called synergies. These contract at the same time as the prime mover. They hold the body in position so that the prime mover can work smoothly. So, the biceps will be the agonist as it contracts to produce the movement. And then, in this part, it is the antagonist. This muscle acts in opposition to the movement generated by the agonist and are responsible for returning the limb to its initial position. The opposing muscle of the flexor is called the extensor muscle. Your triceps is an extensor. When you contract your triceps, your arm straightens and the angle between the forearm and the upper arm increases. You have may guess, but this is called extension. So, the triceps will be the antagonist as it relaxes to allow the movements to occur. Flexion and extension are movements that take place within the sagittal plane and involve anterior or posterior movements of the body or limbs. In the limbs, flexion decreases the angle between the bones, bending of the joint, while extension increases the angle and straightens the joint. To sum it all, the two rules, agonist and antagonist, can be exchanged back and forth. The biceps will be the agonist as it contracts to produce the movement, and the triceps will be the antagonist as it relaxes to allow the movement to occur. Contracting flexor muscle always exhibit flexion and never extension. So that's all for the discussion in anatomy and physiology of human movement. I hope that you've learned something in my discussion.